United Artists Channel 63 presents the United Artists Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
Tonight, the Clarkston Wolves take on the Lake Orion Dragons. Good evening, everyone. Dave Zorn along with Bob Griglak. And Bob, a pretty tough battle, the game that these two teams look forward to every year.
Well, it's an inner rivalry that they want to play. Last year, the score was 20-0 in favor of Clarkston, so they've got to prove something again this year, come back and win again. We got a few players injured on Lake Orion, including Dabowski, who's a 4'6" sprinter, so they're going to have to do a lot of making up in the backfield.
Okay, we'll be back with the kickoff right after these messages.
If you're in business, you know advertising can be a hit-or-miss proposition. Some is off target, and even the big idea can fall short. But advertising on cable TV is a surefire way to reach your most likely customer, because whoever you're aiming for, there's a cable channel that targets your buyers in your area. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Good evening from Lake Orion High School. This is Dave Zorn along with Bob Griglak to bring you an exciting contest here between these two big rivals out here in this league. And here are the records from last year. As you can see, pretty close in the conference, 4-1 for Clarkston last year, 7-2 overall, and the leaders, Lake Orion, 3-2 in the conference and 4-5 overall. This year, Clarkston 2-0 and 3-2 overall. Lake Orion 0-2 and 2-3 overall. Just flip-flop each one of those. And the Lake Orion Dragons want to get a little revenge over Clarkston from a 20-0 defeat last year.
Pretty sound defeat. I think the big difference in this game, Lake Orion's a little banged up in the backfield, and that'll make a big difference on whether their replacements can come through with some good rushing. Because if they can keep the ball on the ground and do it consistently, they're going to really have an advantage. The wind is pretty strong out here today. It's blowing at about 20 knots, so it'll be at the backs of people going from our right to our left here, so they're kicking into the wind here. So that'll make a difference either on the kicking game and or the passing game.
Weather definitely going to be a factor tonight. This is the coldest night we've had all season. And this in the Greater Oakland Conference. And we are underway. A big matchup tonight in the Greater Oakland Conference. Clarkston will get it. And a good return right up the middle over the 30-yard line to about the 31, 32-yard line. They'll keep it, let's see, right on the 30.
Well, it's a good field position to start off with. They don't have much to worry about in regards to going backwards. They can open it up a little bit here. They do have the wind at their back. And I think the team that scores first is going to have a real advantage here today. Reason being is it's very difficult to try to play catch-up football with this wind in the situation it's in. The field's in pretty good shape, so that shouldn't have anything to do with it. But as it gets colder, we can see it get a little wet later on.
Clarkston, the co-champion last year with Pontiac Northern in the Greater Oakland Conference. Starts out with the ball right on the 30-yard line. The handoff immediately goes to number 24, and that is Justin Tapero.
The Dragons run a real unique situation up front. They run a six-man line, basically, and they gap the linebackers. The reason they do that is they're trying to stop the running attack up front. By doing that, they get the running backs in the backfield by gapping those linebackers oftentimes. The disadvantage to it is that if a quick hitter goes through, they've got a lot of room to run. So take a look for that quick hitter, that fullback. If he can break one open, it could go for a long way.
Nick Shires, the quarterback, number 5 for Clarkston. Split backs in the backfield, handing it off again to Tapero. Tapero trying to turn the corner outside, and he'll be a couple yards short of the first down.
Already on that play, you see the cornerback came up to try to make the tackle to turn him inside. He slipped and fell, and Tapero turned it in. Let's see if you can take a look at it here. He takes it out. He's got some pretty decent blocking out in front of him. The fullback right there blocks down on the defensive end and gets a good block in there. He turns the ball upside. There's the slip by number 10, and a nice little move in there for about an 8-yard run. Third down and about 2.
Third and a long 2 for the Wolves. 10:28 left in the first quarter. This is the first possession of the game. And here come the Wolves. Looks like they'll pick up the first down and more. And again, the handoff going to Justin Tapero.
Excellent offensive line blocking. Each one of the offensive linemen stayed with their block for a good 3-second count. That made the difference. You can watch him right here. He's got a lot of room to run. He takes the ball. Look how deep he takes the ball in the backfield. Look at him hold on to the blocks. Excellent block, even by number 33 up there, the fullback. Excellent block.
A lot of room to run over the 40-yard line to about the 41, 42-yard line. There is Rich Burrell, head coach in his first year here at Lake Orion High School. 2 receivers up top, and the Dragons showing blitz. Shires with an audible at the line, and he'll change the call. And a dive right up the middle, or off tackle rather, and picks up good yardage, Bob.
Well, they brought the linebacker in right over the center guard gap area. He blitzed over the center area. And what that does, it opens off the off tackle play. And that's where they went. They sustained their blocks, and they got an excellent gain of about 7 yards.
Eric Ryan on the carry, the first down carry, gets him about 8 yards. And there you see the crowd here. A good turnout on a very cold night.
A lot of coffee and a lot of hot chocolate sales today, I'll tell you.
Not a cold night if you're thinking towards the last game of the year, but for this part of the season, it cooled off very quickly. Shires on the handoff to Tapero, hit hard in the backfield by number 58. And a good sack there, Robert Fisher, Bob Fisher getting back in there, a junior for Lake Orion, and the Dragons come up with a big loss here.
That's when the linebacker shoots that gap. Keep in mind, they don't have enough offensive linemen to contain that. As he shoots the gap, he comes in untouched and makes the tackle in the backfield. Basically no chance here for the running back. He comes in untouched. A nice belt buckle tackle, lifts him up. That's textbook. That's a big 2-yard loss too, so it sets him up for 3rd and 5.
3rd and about 5 now. So Clarkston knocked back. And a big 3rd down play right here. Shires on a quick handoff right up the middle. And that is, again, Ryan on the carry. Getting close, but not enough for a first down. He's about 1.5 yards short, maybe 2 yards. 2 yards
Here's
short.
A tough call right here, Dave. You know, you look at it, they're going to bring in the punting unit. But even in this situation, they've got the wind at their back. They're going to try to knock that ball out of the end zone. I don't know if that's a good idea here. The reason being is you can bury them deep if you try to kick it at an angle. So let's see what they do. They've got the wind at their back. Will they kick it out of the end zone, or they try to kick it at an angle?
With the wind, back to punt. Clarkston. Trying to draw him off sides.
There it is.
And a fake. It's Ryan. I don't know if he got the first down. I don't think so.
Oh, great call by that's a great play and a great everywhere around. I'll tell you what, the snap was to the up man, and they really didn't disguise it well. It looked like, as you mentioned, they were trying to draw him off sides. They didn't do it well enough. By waiting so long, they might have had the defense looking for that play. So that really didn't help them. They should have, if they were going to do it, they should have snapped it quick, got the defense off on their back of their heels. This way they had more of an opportunity to run for the 2 yards.
There's the band for the Dragons, and they are fired up because this is the first possession for the Dragons, and they are right on the 50-yard line. Talk about great field position for your first possession. And here we go, first run off tackle. And not a bad gain for the Dragons on the carry. Number 42, Jeremy Major, a junior tailback.
Well, he's going to have to show something today. He's filling in for some big shoes. So basically, if he can control the ball, he's filling in for Dabowski.
Kurt Dabowski,
who runs a 4.6 40. I'm not going to beleaguer that point, but he ran pretty controlled, Major did, into that hole. If they can control that line of scrimmage, he can get a lot of yards today.
A good 4-yard run by Major, and that's 2nd and 6 coming up. The refs getting the Lake Orion ball in there now and taking off the Clarkston ball off the field. 2nd down and 6 coming up now. I formation in the backfield. 2 receivers split for the Dragons. And they go with a quick pass, and it opens up to number 40, Mark DeVries. DeVries comes up with a big play. The senior is open, wide open here, Bob.
3 steps back and a little pass over to the tight end. He's wide open. There's no doubt about that. And it's a good pass. It's right on the numbers. He takes the ball up and gets another about 5-6 yards on the carry. But the key to that play was the play action. Play action froze the linebackers and opened them up for the wide open pass. That's our first pass of the day, too.
First pass and a big gain for the Dragons. 1st and 10 now. Ball on about the 33-yard line of Clarkston. The first carry for number 34, Tim Brown.
Stand outside the 30s.
And he is a junior. Good run for Tim Brown.
Well, he was hitting the backfield, Dave, I'll tell you what, and he just wasn't wrapped up. He ran through about 3 tackles to get that extra 2 yards, and that was basically it. Without that, he was hit for no gain.
2nd down, and about 7 coming up. Dragons on the move on their first possession. Again, 2 receivers split and the I formation shown. Mason Robertson, the quarterback. And fakes to the first man through, and a good cutback against the grain, and a great run for Jeremy Major. Major's had 2 good runs, and this one picks up the first down.
Watch this run, I'll tell you what. He shows some speed there. They're not missing anything in the backfield. He takes it, look at that cut up. And the defensive end basically ran through or by the play. As Major took it up, he shows some good speed, some good tackle breaking right there. And a great run.
There on the far side, you see the head coach, he's pacing to the left. He's out of your picture now back in it. That is Kurt Richardson with the mustache. And he's got some worrying right now. Trap right up the middle, and this one gets a couple of yards. The handoff goes to Tim Brown.
I'll tell you what, Dave, I'm really impressed with the offensive line on both teams so far. It seems that, and here's Kurt Richardson, he's a well-coached team here, but the offensive linemen are holding their blocks and allowing their running backs to get good yardage, even on first down. The few times that they've been stopped has been because they've been outmanned. On the 6-man line, they've been blitzing a few linebackers. But right now, they're really controlling the ball and running it downfield real well.
Now they have a 2nd and 8. Handoff, 2nd man through, and again, a good carry for number 42, Major. Mason Robertson has thrown 1 pass. It has been good, but most of the yardage has been on the ground. Bob, another good gain here for Majors.
He broke through a couple tackles, too. Take a look right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. He could have, right there, 40's got a chance to tackle him, except he's well blocked at the last second, and he was able to take the ball through that hole and quickly through the hole. 3rd and 1 allows them a chance here of running several different plays. They're down deep, so they can either pass or run here. They'll go on 4th down.
Jeremy Major getting a good chunk of this yardage so far for the Dragons. 3rd and a long one. The Wolves showing blitz, and they go right through it. And a fumble, but right there to recover was number 34, Tim Brown. So the Dragons get it back.
What a break, I'll tell you what. Just happens that Brown fell down, looked up, saw the ball there, and scooped it in.
Yeah, he fell down by accident.
He did fall down by accident. As he goes through, he's got a great hole right here. He didn't hold up the ball. They tried to tackle the ball and not him. Now watch Brown. Here's 34. He slips. You can't really see it right there. There goes. He's slipping. He's falling down. He says, oh, here's the ball. He
It's a good thing he slipped right there, because the ball came right to him when he did slip. 1st and goal. Ball at about the 7-yard line. Dragons on their first possession, and this time Major is stuffed right up the middle. The Wolves expecting that one.
Clarkston Wolves run a 5-2 defense. That's the basic pro-type defense. And what they do here is they send the linebacker up the gap. What they're trying to do is they're trying to force them to run outside. If they do that, they're going to try to string it. Linebacker comes in, 52, and he makes the tackle. He ran right through that gap.
Stood him right up, and you can see Major cannot do anything with 4 Wolves right there. In fact, lost a little bit on it, but still 2nd and 7. I formation, 2 receivers split. Richardson to the air, and he's got his man complete again inside the 5 to DeVries.
Richardson showed me some poise on that play. He had a man coming in and knew it, pump fake, and you can take a look right here. Here's his pump fake. He froze that linebacker. That gave him just enough time to get this pass, and he knew he was coming at him. And look at that perfect spiral, right on the money.
A good line drive, low pass, and nothing on it that really could get intercepted.
It was an excellent play by the quarterback, and showed a lot of poise on that.
So Mason Robertson, excuse me, showing good form that time. It is 3rd and 3 for a touchdown. They need a touchdown here. Again, up and intended for DeVries. And Robertson just couldn't connect that time. Nothing there. Now, Bob, we've seen some problems with other teams where they go with the running game and then all of a sudden they start passing and it stalls.
That's very true, but this was a good pass. He threw it high enough to where it wasn't going to be intercepted. And I think this ball could have been caught. He kind of jumped after the ball was by him. So it was the receiver's fault. Either he wasn't watching the ball or he didn't look up in time. So I think it was more the receiver's fault than the quarterback. It was a good throw.
And they're thinking it over down on the field. And while they're doing that, don't forget to tune in to the Roadshow video program. If you're wondering what that is, just like I am, it looks like they're gone fishing.
I think he dropped the fish, like I said last week. That's why I think he just dropped the fish.
Remember the slant flare pass we had?
For Kurt Richardson.
No, flare. With the tailback. I got spread left, solid. Spread left, solid. 270 slant flare. Okay? So where's my split end? Loose end? Loose end. You got a slant. Okay? Take the slant if he's there. If he's not there, toss it to the flat to Majors. Let's go. All right? Come on off this.
That wasn't Kurt Richardson's huddle. Excuse me, that was Rich Burrell's, but we have an inside track on what's going to happen.
All they're basically going to do is going to look for the quick slant out in the flat, and if he's not open, they're going to throw it back to Major, the running back, as a safety valve. So he's giving him 2 passes, which is a good call. On 4th down, you want to have 2 options in case they, because on a slant, you've got 3 yards to tackle him. I mean, he might not ever get through that line. So that can happen. Big play here, 4th down.
Here we go, 1:34 left in the first quarter. The Dragons have had it for most of this first quarter. A quick slant and right in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, number 22. And that is Todd Ho.
I tell you what, that pass is wide open. This is an excellent pass. Here's the play action. Just try to squeeze the linebackers for a second. He goes back and he really just put some zip on this ball. Look at this. It's a nice tight spiral right in his hands. That ball should have been caught. No doubt about it.
Right there. Heard the footsteps right there to knock it loose was Nick Shires, the defensive back for Clarkston.
I'm impressed with Mason Robertson. I think he's doing an excellent job.
He sure is.
Play calling has actually been very good also.
And a tough break there for number 22, Todd Ho, who is also a defensive back, as you see him there. Back to the action now. Clarkston on their first play. And the carry by number 24, Taparo again. Justin Taparo getting a good bulk of the yardage so far for Clarkston.
Well, here's a key possession here. They need to move the ball down. They still have the win at their back with 1 minute and 14 seconds left. If they don't move the ball, they've got to get the plays quick enough so they're not punting against the wind. So there's 2 factors in here. If they don't get a first down and they've got to punt against the wind, that could go back to Lake Orion, the Dragons' way. So we'll see what happens. 58 seconds and counting. Go.
Clarkston deep in their own territory on the 5-yard line. They've got to hurry up and get the play off, and they do finally. And it's Taparo stacked up behind the original line of scrimmage. And this game is going to get physical. So we talked to head coach Kurt Richardson of Clarkston. He said these guys will get a good physical game. There, the play coming in. Head coach Richardson right in the middle of your screen. And now pacing over. There he is.
Well, I think the good idea here would be to pass the ball. Whether they get the first down or not, it'll stop the clock and allow them to punt with the wind. It's a strong 20-25 mile an hour wind today. I'll tell you what, 18 seconds left. They will get it off. Let's see if they run or they pass.
3rd down and a long 7, almost 8 yards. 2 tight ends and 1 receiver split. And they're not going to get much on that one, so they'll just be happy to punt this away. but they do call a timeout, so they will get the win to punt it away, and a good smart call by Kurt Richardson.
I'll tell you what, that was probably the smartest call of the half right there. But a pass would have did the same thing, would have stopped the clock without wasting a timeout. He's probably a little bit worried about having a turnover that far deep, so that has something to do with it too.
Don't forget to tune into Front Page Football right here Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. on United Artists 63 as we take a look at the Lions and how they're doing this year. Not too well so far.
Not this week. They're not playing with the bye week, so maybe we'll talk about some of the returning people from injuries and that type of thing. Herman Moore's coming back. That should help their offense.
And
definitely won't hurt it.
Yeah, definitely won't hurt it. Reggie Barrett had his problems in the first few games, dropping some
and supposedly he's got some of the best hands on the team, is what I've heard in preseason. So
there very easily could have been some wins for the Lions there.
When you lose 4 games by 16 total points, that tells you something. It tells you that you're in the game. A few breaks here or there. They got to just basically keep their heads in there until the rest of the season.
For more information on the Lions, tune into Front Page Football. Right now, back to punt is number 25 for Clarkston, and that is Brian Phipps. Remember, they faked the punt the first time, and I don't think they're going to do it this time.
I don't think so.
And he'll get it off. Not too much pressure. So the wind does help. And the Dragons will get good field position. They are at about the 46, 47-yard line. So again, great field position for the Dragons as we start now the second quarter.
There was good coverage, too, on that kick. The ball was kicked high enough to got the coverman down there. So it only got about a 4-yard return. And that made a difference, too, because you can outkick your coverage. That time he didn't. And it was a good net punt of about 35 yards.
So we'll switch sides. And we'll start the second quarter with, again, good field position for the Lake Orion Dragons. They moved the ball very well in their first possession. Moved it all the way down to about the 5-yard line.
And they mixed it up real well.
3-yard line, and they couldn't get it in, yeah.
Yeah, they mixed it up well. That was the key to that. At the end, you had mentioned that sometimes they take themselves out of a possession with the passes. They didn't do that time. Their receivers dropped the ball. The passes were on the mark. They were good calls, good conservative calls, but like you say, you got to catch the ball in order to make something happen.
1st and 10 for the Dragons. I formation, 2 receivers split. And back to passes Robertson. Robertson goes for the first down, and he got it.
Oh,
a great reception down the sideline, and look who it was, redeeming himself, number 22. And that was Todd Ho.
That was a beautiful catch. I'll tell you what, if some scouts are in the stands here, they just saw a remarkable catch by Todd Ho. And he basically does everything right. It was a good pass, right on the money, and a great catch. Watch him keep his feet inbound here. Look at that. Boom. Right on the toes.
Good
nice
camera
play.
work, too, to get that in there. And good job by the players to get out of our way. 1st and 10, right on the 30-yard line. And I am very impressed right now, this Dragon offense. They are mixing it up and moving very well. They'll go back to the air. Robertson deep, wide open in the zone is again DeVries, the senior Mark DeVries. Comes up with another big first down for the Dragons, and what a tight end he is.
That was a beautiful pass all the way. Take a look right here. He sets up real nice in the pocket. I'll tell you, it shows a lot of poise, but he had a lot of time to throw the ball. The ball was thrown very tight, and DeVries was wide open in the zone, as you mentioned. He split those seam right there, and he's tackled immediately.
And again, a great pass by Mason Robertson. The senior has been right on the mark on every pass.
Kurt Richardson mentioned before the game he was afraid of the passing attack. He thought they were going to pass quite a bit today, and sure enough, they are.
Here we go again, showing the same formation, pro set for the Dragons. Again, Robertson deep. And almost intercepted back there by number 5, Nick Shires, intended for number 21. Wandry, Matt Wandry, right there.
That ball should have been intercepted. You know, I'll tell you what, here's the fake right there. He doesn't really go through with the fake that much. That doesn't freeze the linebackers. But he throws a little bit off the front of his foot that time. Look right here. He's kind of throwing off the front of his foot.
But look at all the white jerseys, too.
Oh, yeah, that ball should have been interception. Take a look right here. He steps right in front of him. Oh, my. And he had a lot of room in front of him, too.
Here we go. I formation again, 2nd and 10. This time they run it, and what a run. A good second effort by Major. Jeremy Major, the junior tailback, filling in for some big shoes. Kurt Dubowski. The starting tailback is out. He is hurt.
Jeremy Major showed why he's an adequate tailback replacement here. Oh, please follow through. There you go. Look at this. He's falling down and he keeps his balance. Look at that. Puts a hand on the ground to maintain his balance and gets all the way down to about the 2-yard line. What a great run, I'll tell you.
3rd down and 3. I wonder if they could possibly get a first down. They're just inches away from the goal line. Robertson to pass, a quick slant in, but too much traffic there. It's knocked down immediately.
Incomplete.
There were more jerseys than he knew what to do at that time. There were about 5 white jerseys standing in front of him. They tried the quick slant and had no room to throw it.
Yeah, this time he's lucky they didn't get an interception.
Takes 3 steps back, and boom, there's really no hands on his way right to the last second. The receiver was open, though.
Laundry replaces Myers.
So it's a 4th down now and 4th and 3. And again, the Dragons could come up empty-handed here. I formation. 2 receivers here to the bottom of the screen. Robertson back to pass. They go the other way. He's open. Touchdown. Touchdown, Tim Brown.
Excellent play call, Dave. I'll tell you, all you have to do on that play is make sure you can run faster than defense. It sounds simple, right? It doesn't always happen. You've got to get the running back out in front of the defensive back and then lead him perfectly on the pass, and that's what he does. Excellent pass. Take a look right here. See if the running back, number 34, take a look at him here. He gets outside. All he has to do now is outrun the defensive back, which he does.
A good touch by Robertson. He led the receiver perfectly, and a nice soft touch. He didn't overpower that one.
Flag on the play.
Down on the field, a whistle blows, but what a touch. You can see Robertson is very impressive.
He's thrown the ball hard, and he's thrown the ball soft, and he's done it with consistency on both levels.
We have a dead ball foul, not snapped up on the green. 5 yards.
5-yard penalty.
Well, that probably means some of the offensive linemen moved before the ball was snapped.
So they'll knock him back, but again, they're going to try it this time from the 15, so a 25-yard attempt here.
This is good practice. He needs this.
It is up. It is good.
What did he show a leg? That,
beautiful.
Oh, he could have kicked that one from 40 yards out.
That is Casey Smith who put it through and puts the Dragons up 7-0 early in the second quarter, 10:38.
And it was a bad snap, too. The snap was from behind the holder. He brought the ball back around. It was an excellent play on both ends. So let's give some credit there to the holder who did an excellent job. There's a good look at our crowd. Looks like we got a decent crowd. They're all going to kind of bunch in together, folks. The reason they're going to do that, it's about 45 degrees out here and windy, so.
Probably colder with that wind chill.
I would imagine.
Or as some people say, the windshield factor. Number of plays, 6. 1:22 off the clock and a total of 42 yards. So you know they can strike quickly. Remember that, 1:22 off the clock. So if it comes down to a quick score at the end of the game, you know they can do it, especially with the arm of Robertson. The kick by Smith is a low line drive, taken at about the 7-yard line, and straight upfield go the Wolves. That is Joe Davis on the return. And now the Wolves will have a little bit of room to work. Last time they got the ball at about the 3-yard line.
Look at the way they do their wedge here. What he does on the wedge, he waits for his people to get in front of him. They take the initial blocks, and what he does is tries to pop through any of those tackles to find the seam. As he tries to pop through here, there he goes. They just happen to converge from the sides. People are running on lanes there, and what they do is they converge from their lanes to the ball carrier, and that's how they made the tackle.
Here come the Wolves now. 1st and 10, ball at about the 28-yard line. And players yelling fumble down on the field, but no, it was Tapero on the carry.
Lake Orion's really pumped up here. The Dragons, of course, are home. They scored first. They've had good field position. They've got everything going their way. And, of course, Clarkston, you know, they basically went for that fake punt and really put them behind the 8 ball.
And they are now 2nd and 11 coming up here.
They need a big play here. They need something to open themselves up.
Showing a pro set now. Both linebackers drop back for Lake Orion. Back to pass and complete. And hitting the intended receiver, number 80, and that is Rice, Adam Rice. And he picks up a good gain. Not enough for the first down, though.
Let's take a little slant in right here by the receiver, and that's going to be open all day. The reason it's going to be open is nobody's taking him. He's got a defensive back on him. Linebackers aren't covering that hook zone or that square out area. Nobody's in front of him, so he's going to have plenty of area to pass in front of him. So that was a good call. They took what the defense gave him.
Shires back to pass. Has his man open and just off the fingertips of number 21. That is Brent Bundridge.
I'll tell you what, that was a pretty darn good pass. He was running to the left, and here's the key. This is probably the most difficult pass a quarterback can throw, running and throwing across his body. And he makes a real nice pass. It's right on his fingertips. Potentially should have been caught.
Just out of the outstretched hands of Bundridge. And now it's a 4th and punting down again. Back to punt is Phipps. Phipps to punt, 8:49 left here in the first half. Phipps into the wind. This is end over end, and it should get, and does get, a Clarkston bounce.
Not a bad kick, though.
Down at about the 35. Not a bad kick.
Nope.
So Lake Orion, for the first time, will start in their end of the field. So let's see how long the drive can be sustained here. Transition every Saturday at 10 p.m. right here on United Artists 63. We'll take you to explore African American issues right here in the Detroit area. So tune in for that.
We either got some Braves fans here, or they've got a different way of calling a dragon.
Yeah, here's the kicker Smith, who just boomed that extra point. Here's Robertson, has some time, and he's going to scramble and finally go down for about a 5-yard loss.
The receiver cut off his route. That was meant to be a curl pattern by the receiver, who cut off the route when he turned in. You're not going to be able to see it here, but that's what the play is. He slips up looking for the receiver. He's not open because he turned downfield. That's what happened. He tried to fake it there and didn't have the foot speed to get out around the side, and the defensive tackle was caught up to him. But the receiver broke off his route, and that's why he was sacked for that 5-6-yard loss.
It's a 6-yard loss. It'll be second and about 16 now. Pro set, 2 receivers, and an I formation in the backfield for Robertson. He'll go to the tailback, and not much, but a good second effort there. Lunging forward is Major.
Good call on second and long, and opens up the middle. What happens is the rushers try to get to the quarterback, and when they do, they pass the ball carrier. This time you can see 58, the outside linebacker, came in from the side, made the tackle, and made a great play.
Jeremy Major picks up a couple, and it'll be 3rd and 14 now. Another passing down for the Dragons.
See if he opens it up with a little play action here.
Mason Robertson, the quarterback, back to throw, has time, and now gets pressured, and the wall has finally caved in on him. And back to 4th and 16 now.
And he comes up limping. I'll tell you what, that's not a good sign. You can take a look right here, the defensive tackles. This is the straight shot right here, men against men. There's no blitzing on this play. The linebackers are back covering, and the defensive tackles made a great play. Here come the linebacker now at the last second. He's starting to follow the play, but great defense, good penetration by the defensive line.
And a very deep drop for Robertson.
Well, there's no play action. He wasn't able to freeze anybody, and that really took away from it.
So 4th and about 15 here, and a punting down for the first time for Lake Orion.
Here they come.
They're coming, and they almost blocked it. Ball hits at about the 50-yard line and will go out of bounds at about the 46. And that's where Clarkston will have it, their best field position of the evening.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were really coming after that. The Wolves got to do something to get themselves back in the game here. Let's take a look at this particular play, and let's see how close they came to blocking his punt. He has his head down. I don't think he knows they're coming at him. He just skies that one. They didn't get that close, but I'll tell you what, he's got to look, because that ball potentially could have been blocked.
Bill Bressett, the punter. And, well, he knew they were coming as soon as he got it off. Ball at the 46. Clarkston shows 2 receivers this side. They run the ball the other way, though. Tapero with the run. And a good one, gain of about 6 or 7 yards.
Those linebackers are keying off the offensive line. They're looking at the stance. Look at the center fire out. As soon as they do that, they fire in. They're holding up the gap. But what they can do is they can go past the ball carrier, which is what they do, and opens up a great hole for them. 2nd down and about 3.
A good run by Tapero on that one. Justin Tapero. That's about 2nd and 3 or 4. They'll go to the ground again, and a first down. Looks like a good carry by number 33. That is Eric Ryan, the fullback who will run a tailback occasionally.
There's a couple of cold people there. You can see she's got her sweater over her hands. We were out there for about half an hour prior to the game. This is when the sun was still up and it was cold.
Yeah.
So it's getting cold down there, and players, of course, don't know.
We actually needed gloves out there. Our hands were getting cold, our ears were getting cold. But once you get in the game, you'll be all right. But if you're on the sideline like those people wearing the sweatshirts, they're going to be a little cold.
3rd and inches here.
3rd and inches. They go to the tailback, and Tapero comes through with the first down.
Again, the offensive line did a great job sustaining their blocks, and that's been the key in this game. They showed a little surgence before the fake punt. They were able to run the ball for 20 yards and had 4th and 3 or 4th and 2 before the fake punt. So they showed that they can run the ball earlier in the game. And that's what they've got to get back to here. They've shown that they've got 6, 7 yards on 1st down. 2nd down, they were stopped short. 3rd down, they knew they could get it, and they did. So they're showing that they've got confidence in their running game. They have only thrown 1 pass, so let's see what they do now.
1st and 10, ball on the 42. Power I in the backfield, and not much running room that time. On the carry was Ryan.
That slow was a little play getting off. It didn't look like the offensive line surged out enough to stay in good blocking. As he ran through, there were a lot of bodies and got tackled.
And it'll bring up a 2nd and 9 now for Clarkston. The Wolves on the move for the first time tonight, and first time getting into Lake Orion territory tonight.
Against this type of defense, the quick hitter is the key to having success against it. It's because the 6, 7 men on the line, they'll string it out.
Nick Shires, the quarterback. 2 receivers split. He'll come this way. His man is open, but right there, immediately covered by number 2. That is Jay Krause.
Well, they're going man-to-man on that receiver out there. He's going to be open for that 5-yard pass all day. You can take a look here, 3 steps back in the quick pass. All he's got to do is go down 2, 3 yards and turn around. He's going to be open. Because when you go man-to-man like that, if you give him any type of cushion, he's going to take advantage of it. Let's see if they go back to that on 3rd and about 3, because it'll be open again.
This is 3rd and a long 3. I would almost call it a 4. And both the quarterbacks really impressive tonight. They've been right on the mark. Pro set, 2 backs split in the backfield for Shires, and it's a draw. And they read it well, but he gets away. And close to a first down. A good run by Eric Ryan, just when you thought he was going to be hit for a loss. He comes up with a good second effort, and they may have to measure for this.
It's going to be real close. I think he might have it. Let's see whether he's, nope, he doesn't have it. They're going to. Ryan made a great play here. He takes the ball up the middle. There's a lot of people on him. Now watch his legs. He's going to keep moving his legs here. Watch his legs move as he gets hit. Look at, he's pounding those legs. He keeps them moving there, keeps them going forward. 58 tries to wrap him up, didn't try to go for the ball. And while he tried to go for the ball, Ryan was able to break the tackle and get close to the first down. He's going to be short. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Clarkston going for it. The Wolves want a first down here. They want to get on the board. Power I. Power I left. So watch for that. They go right up the middle and they stack it up underneath the pile, if we can see who gets up there. And what a great effort by number 36 who got in there. That is Armbruster, Tim Armbruster, the linebacker, got right in there and submarined him and did not get enough for the first down.
This is the type of play that turns the game around. There's 1 minute and 49 seconds left here in the second quarter. Now, I'll tell you, if Lake Orion, the Dragons, can take the ball down, even if they don't score here, if they can take the ball out, control the clock for the rest of the quarter, that play right there might spur this team for the rest of the game. That was a great defensive effort.
There you see him right there. Armbruster, Tim Armbruster with a big play defensively for Lake Orion, getting in there to stop the 4th down play. Robertson in trouble, and he'll go back for a big loss.
That's the one thing that they did not need to happen. I tell you, that's the one thing that they did not need to happen.
Almost 15 yards on the loss. Let's take a look.
He takes a deep drop as he did earlier in the drops. And look at the defensive line. They just break through. 58 again blitzing. And I tell you, Kukla is making a great play there. But 77 also made a great play on the defensive tackle for the Wolves. That's E.J. Stumpf. Stumpf? I like that name. 2nd and 23. Clock running.
Man in motion for Lake Orion. They run the ball and a big gain. And a good run by Brown. Tim Brown on the carry. Brown with the only touchdown here tonight. Caught it receiving.
I'm sure we've got a timeout by the Wolves here.
And it is.
Here's the replay. This is a good call on 2nd and long. They're trying to get through the penetration, trying to get them to go by him. And he's got a lot of room, Brown does, as he goes through. And right here is where he's tackled by number 50, I believe. Good tackle.
And that was the outside linebacker, Dan Eby. And don't forget to tune into Oakland Press Perspective Fridays at 8:30 p.m. right here on United Artist 63 with that man right there, Oakland Press editor Neil Monroe.
All right, let's go. I got 151 quick trap, okay? We'll just get out of here. Let's go.
They're going to do the same thing. Another quick trap, try to keep the ball on the ground. Force the Wolves to call another timeout. They're punting with the win, so that should help.
3rd down, about 15 coming up now for the Dragons with 41.4 seconds left in the first half. They lead 7-0. And they have done a pretty good job in controlling the ball offensively. Familiar pro set. First man through, and he fumbled the ball. That was Brown, and he recovered it. Fell right back on it, so it'll be 4th and long coming up now. And again, another timeout for Clarkston. They want that ball back.
That was almost too quick a trap. The ball was almost not given to him. Take a look right here. Let's see the handoff. Does he get the handoff off? It's a good handoff. Brown took his eye off the ball. That's basically what happened.
The fullback has got to let the quarterback just stick it in his gut, and he didn't let him do that.
That ball's still loose right there on his back. Yeah. Whoa, they were real lucky to get that ball.
It looked like he was grabbing for the ball rather than letting him let the quarterback lay it in his gut.
And he was looking, you know, you can keep you don't have to watch the ball being put in your gut, but the ball was also handed off a little high up near the shoulder pads as opposed to in his stomach. And when you hit the ball in the shoulder pads, it can bounce off of that because it's hard. Oh, your stomach should be hard too.
Well, for those guys, not for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in there, guys. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Let me stay home.
See head coach Rich Burrell, first year here at Lake Orion. Off to an 0-2 start in the conference, 2-3 overall.
Well, they don't have to punt here. There's no timeouts left for the Wolves, so all they got to do is snap the ball, and that should end the quarter.
And that's what they're going to do. Power eye right, and they're just going to drop back. Well, maybe they will trick us here. They're going to punt.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Bill Bressett will punt.
But they don't necessarily have to.
No, they don't. It's a good one. And the ball is loose. Who's going to get it? The ball is free, and Lake Orion gets it back with 21 seconds.
They gotta stop that clock.
The clock is still going, and it should be stopped.
Oh, they got to put 5 seconds back on that clock.
Yeah.
I thought this was a hometown crop.
Yeah.
Here. You know, I have time spitting that one out, but my Lord.
No.
What a break.
Clarkston, what happened here? Let's see. What are they signaling?
I think Clarkston's got the ball. Looks like the Wolves are huddling, so they do have the ball.
They signal the Wolves. I could have sworn I saw a Lake Orion player come up with that ball.
Anything can happen on the bottom of that pile.
Yeah.
You know, in the last 2 possessions here, the Lake Orion team has rushed 6 times for -9 yards, and that includes a couple quarterback sacks. So the last 2 possessions, they didn't do well.
So that'll do it for the first half here at Lake Orion High School. Let's take a look and see who falls on this.
Well, there's a mad scramble here, and there's the ball. It's loose.
Right there is where I thought he had it.
Nope, he didn't. Man fell in front of him and got the ball for the Wolves.
So the Lake Orion Dragons on a couple of big drives failed to score on the first one, but made sure they got the 7 on the second drive. And they lead it 7-0 here at halftime over the Clarkston Wolves. Again, the Dragons want to get revenge over last year. They lost 20-0. So we'll be back with some halftime stats for you right after these messages. Stay with us.
For years, certain members of the cosmetic industry have been testing things like shaving creams and shampoos on animals. In the process, millions of rabbits and other animals have been blinded, maimed, and killed. Help stop animal testing.
The score 7-0 here at halftime. The Lake Orion Dragons lead over the Clarkston Wolves. And we take you now down to the field to the music of Walt Disney's Mary Poppins.
If you're in business, you know you can pour a lot of money into advertising, trying to reach your potential customers. But if you think the results aren't adding up fast enough, add cable TV advertising to your plan. Cable's variety of programs let you target your best prospects right in your area. And cable is affordable, so you can afford to run more ads. Cable TV advertising. It works. Call United Artists Cable Advertising today.
Halftime here at Lake Orion High School. The Dragons 7-0 over the Clarkston Wolves, and some stats coming up for you. It might tell the tale in this game so far. Lake Orion dominating, passing yardage 53 over 15, but Clarkston has the edge in rushing, 39 over 27, 80 total yards for Lake Orion to Clarkston's 54. I said dominating, really on the clock. It doesn't really look that way. And actually, it's pretty balanced, so maybe I might be mistaken, but Lake Orion really moved the ball well to me, but Clarkston came back.
Well, first downs is the key statistic there, 6 against 2. Time of possession had something to do with the amount of passes thrown by Lake Orion. Of course, they're outpassing their running yardage by almost double there. The 2 passes that Clarkston's have thrown basically have been a little couple slant-ins by the receivers, which is going to be open all day. They're trying to open up the offense by running the ball, whereas it's the opposite for the Dragons, who are trying to open up the offense by passing. So it should be interesting second half. Basically, there's no turnovers in the first half. Whoever turns the ball over in the second half could make the big difference.
It's a cold night, and the players taking just a little bit longer down there to get warmed up. Again, this is probably the coldest night we've had this season out of any of the games, and you can see the crowd huddled and wearing their winter jackets out there. And it's even cold enough to wear gloves and even hats, as you can see, cover up those ears. And blankets even being brought out. Don't forget to tune in next week. Hopefully we'll get a little warmer weather when we down there on the field doing the open. It'll be the Dondero Oaks traveling to Rochester Adams to take on the Highlanders. And that'll be Saturday and Monday right here on United Artists 63. The band getting a chance to see them at halftime too, doing a good job on some Walt Disney selections.
You were just down there, so how did it sound? Sound just like the real band?
Yeah, I had a chance to go down there. That's why I wasn't with you last week.
And we missed you.
I tell you, with a big game he had last week.
It was a good game right down to the wire.
I predicted Avondale, and Clausen came through with a big victory. And you predicted, I hear, you predicted a lot of things that would happen.
Well, just one of those days, you know, happened to be on target for a change.
We are underway now in the second half at Lake Orion High School, and the Dragons come out over the 25-yard line, trying to cut outside and getting to the 30-yard line, and a good return down there by number 10 for Lake Orion. That is Myers, Ben Myers, the senior, trying to cut it outside and almost did.
Well, he takes the ball right up the middle, looks for his wedge, and right here he sees that he's going to have no room, so he splits outside, sees that they're going to run in and try to run right through the defender, but they basically just caught up to him there.
First and 10, ball on the 30, and the Dragons will get it first possession. Robertson, who had a little bit of trouble in the second quarter, they started to get to him. And the Dragons come out running, and a good solid tackle by number 40, and that is Black, Steve Black on the tackle. He was number 55 and changed to number 40.
Wolves defense come out really hitting here in the second half. Defensive end, McKay, I believe it is, has an excellent stick in there, and he's only a sophomore, Eric McKay.
So gain of about 2. It'll be second and a long 8 for the Dragons. Again, they show the pro formation, 2 receiver split, and an I formation in the backfield. Robertson stumbles in the backfield and goes straight down, and I wonder if that field is getting a little slippery. We did get a little bit of rain today, but it really wasn't bad down on the field.
Well, out here it looked like it was a lot worse than in other areas, but take a look right here. He trips over his own feet. There's nobody to fault but himself. He needs to, and I'll tell you what, 76 was in on him pretty fast too. That was Chris Coombs. He needs to roll out a little bit more, maybe have some quicker passes, because the defense is catching up to him and putting a lot of pressure on him. So they're going to have to work on that.
That'll hurt a drive. A play like that can really hurt you. 3rd and 12 now. Same formation. Robertson back to pass. Deep drop, and they go to the screen. Look out. If he breaks that, he may be gone, but they don't sustain their blocks, and he does gain a few, but not enough. And it's a 4th and long.
The second half, I've seen some sticking that I didn't see in the first half. These boys came out to play here, and you can tell right on this play. Now let's take a look. There might be a clip in the back here that wasn't called. It's going to be hard to tell. But he has a deep drop. He tries to let the defense come at him. And there's a reason for that. The reason they do that is to try to get out in front of him. Now here's the play. Brown comes out. Let's take a look if there's a clip right here. Boom, he's hitting the back. That was a clip. They just didn't see it. Watch the sticking here right at the end. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. He breaks a nice tackle here, but they really pop him right at the end.
Well, we talked about the first half going by so quickly, and I'll tell you why. There have been very few penalties, if any. Just one penalty, I believe. Here's the punt by Bressett.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the penalty. We just mentioned there have been very few penalties. And the flags start flying.
Yeah, William Bressett basically didn't give him enough room to receive the ball. Even though you don't call for a fair catch, you've got to allow the receiver 2 yards to catch the ball. He blocked him with his body.
That's the punter.
No, was it?
Bill Bressett.
Looks like 84 was the guy. It looked like may have been 86. I don't know. Let's take a look and see if we can get a better look at his number. But here's the call. They didn't allow him enough room for the catch, so that's going to be the call.
So Clarkston will get the ball. We just have to figure out what they want to do here. Easy choice to make. Let's hear the call down on the field.
Where fair catch, interference on the green, refused. First down.
Okay, so they refused the penalty. See, here's Bressett 84 doing the
okay, well, I got the wrong number. Let's take a look, see who gets in front of him.
I was wondering, hey, that's pretty good coverage down there.
The guys aren't what they used to be. Let's see who runs in front of him here. It's 80-something. 64.
64.
Okay.
You're right.
It looked like an 80. That's pretty close, yeah.
If anything could be close to an 84, that would be it.
Okay.
Here come the Wolves. And did he catch it, though?
That's that same pass that was open in the first half. The 3 completions that they've had, that's the same pass, a quick little slant in by the receiver.
Jeremy Fife, brother of Dugan Fife, the big basketball player.
3 steps back, and that ball was almost, I think it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And it was an excellent catch.
Good catch.
Yeah, that ball was tipped to the line of scrimmage.
Gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd and a long 4. And you can see they're setting up tents out here to try to stay warm.
There's some real football fans in that family. Maybe they're big brothers out here playing.
And Dankert is the new quarterback, by the way. Kevin Dankert in there at quarterback, and a quick handoff to Tapro, and what a run. Where did this come from? A big gain for Tapro. Justin Tapro comes up with a big first down.
It's the first time we've seen him try to run outside, and he showed some real good speed here. The key block is on the tight end on that side. What he does, he blocks down the defensive end and gets outside. That's a straight shot. Take a look right there. Beautiful block on the end. He got through and had a great gainer. Kept his feet moving after he got hit at the initial line of scrimmage. Kept pushing through, ran through hole.
1st and 10, ball on the 38-yard line. And there you see Dankert, the quarterback. 2 receivers up top. The pitch goes the other way. Good coverage in there, number 86. Bob McKay, the defensive end, on the tackle and the loss.
Well, when you have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage and you bring up the linebacker, it's difficult to get outside. They were able to do it in the play before, but this time they weren't able to contain McKay, who gets in the backfield. It's a quick pitch. He's got to hit that hole quick. He doesn't hit it quick enough because McKay fights off his block and makes an excellent tackle. If he didn't, he had some room to run around the side.
That's right. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
Too many yards.
A loss of about a yard for Ryan, and that'll be 2nd and 11. Again, 2 receivers up top, and split backs for Dankert. Dankert takes his time on the call, and going straight into his own man is Ryan again, and it'll be 3rd down and long, and a passing down coming up for the Wolves.
Again, they're showing 7 men on the front, and they're trying to have a quick hitter to try to get through. There's not enough blockers up there. So stop for a real short gain, if any.
Don't forget to tune into Roadshow Video. And I think they're taking a nap while they're fishing.
Is that what it is? It's a nap. You didn't lose a fish.
But believe me, if you watch the show, you're not going to fall asleep. There's some exciting videos on there. And just tune in, believe me.
So passing down here, 3rd and 10.
Dankert to pass. The first time we've seen him pass. Unloads just as he gets hit. A good pickup, but not enough. Complete out there to Jeremy Fife.
It's actually the 2nd pass in the series. The first one was tipped, and he made the catch earlier in the thing.
Right.
but that was a nice pass there on the run. Rolling to his right, an easier pass than rolling to your left. Hit him on the run, but short of the first down. Now he's able to scramble and move away from the pressure. They do show some penetration, but moving out of the pocket like that gives him enough time to throw the ball, and he throws it on target, but short of the first down. Now their fourth down here, they're going to probably go for it because they're on the 34 or 32-yard line. So they've got not much to lose by going for it and not getting it. They're too far out of field goal range. So good call here. Big play for the offense, 4th and 4.
6:17 left here in the third quarter. Dankert to pass. Complete again. And a first down to Jeremy Fife.
I don't know. That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
No, he's way over there.
I don't know. Yeah, he's way over. You're right. Okay. That's the same pass that's been open all day. He's thrown 4 of those passes to the same receiver. They're playing man-to-man. All he's got to do is go down 3 or 4 yards and turn it around. That time he went down 4 or 5 yards and was able to get the first down.
And Dankert is 3 for 3 in the air. I had mentioned he was that was his first pass previous. Bob corrected me, and that is his 3rd completion in a row. Let's see if he goes for it again. Again, Fife complete on the slant in, and they pick up another first down.
They're on the move. They're mixing the ball up. They're mixing their plays up. They're doing a good job keeping the defense back on their heels. This time here, no play action, 3 steps back and a quick pass. The same receiver's open again on that little slant in, and they're going to hit him all day until the defensive back comes up and plays him.
So Kevin Dankert, the junior quarterback, comes in, and he comes in throwing.
He's just showing a nice spiral, good quick release too, so that'll help him particularly now. And they're going with the win, so that might affect them here in the second half.
1st and 10. They need to the 4-yard line to get a first, and on the run is Ryan. Good run, gains about 3 or 4 yards. Good hard run. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 coming up. 7 or 6 yards coming up.
2nd, 7, ball on the 10-yard line.
Let's take a look at the defense here. If they line up away from Fife again. If they do on the corner, and he's going to go for another pass because he'll be wide open again here in 2nd and about 7. But he's already caught 4 passes for 31 yards.
Clock winding down, 4:55 left in the third quarter. 7-0, Lake Orion leads, but here come the Wolves knocking on the door. I formation in the backfield, or rather a split formation. And rolling out is Dankert and loads into the end zone, complete, touchdown. Touchdown, complete to Volmar. Rick Volmar on the reception. Volmar, a junior. And the Wolves strike back on a big possession. Let's take a look.
This time they split 2 receivers out to the right. They didn't have anybody out to the left. The reason they do that is so he can come back to the ball if he can. The big receiver, Volmar, comes down with a nice pass for the touchdown. That time they flooded the zone. They rolled the quarterback out, they flooded the zone, and he was able to throw the ball. The kick is good. But they were able to throw the ball on the run, which makes a big difference, and with the win. So that's our score now, 7-7. 4:40 left here in the third quarter.
So Dankert comes in, the junior quarterback, and marches him down the field with his arm, basically.
And he didn't throw an incompletion in the whole series, so that made a big key, too.
Kevin Dankert to number 7, Rick Volmar.
Now let's see what the Dragons can do if they can come back here in the second half and throw as they did in the first half. That time, Dankert showed that he can throw 5 for 5 for 40 yards, and he scored the big touchdown. So that's a big play for him, showing that he can come in and run this offense here in the second half. Obviously, they didn't show anything in the first half, being outscored 7-0. Both offenses were a little lackluster, but now it's 7-7. It changes the whole ball game here, Dave.
Sure does. All tied up. A 9-yard pass from Dankert to Volmar, and it's 7-7. And here come the Dragons now from the 5-yard line. Good spinning return and getting out to about the 20, and he was lucky he got there. Was number 22, Todd Ho.
The outside containment man broke the wedge. He was able to get around the wedge and have him turn up before he had a chance to hit the wedge. And the wedge has got to form a little quicker in order to break those tackles. Otherwise, he would be dropped a lot further back.
Let's take a look at that scoring drive. 9 plays, 4 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock, and 46 total yards. And a good drive by the junior quarterback Dankert to get him in there. And a good mixture of running and passing.
The Dragons got to show the same mixture here and get back in the second half, because right now they're down.
Here come the Dragons. I formation in the backfield and a slot receiver, and he'll come back for the counter. That is Ho. He's got some room to run. Good cut, and he'll cut back against the grain for more yardage.
He's gone.
Look out. From behind, he gets hit down to the 30-yard line.
That was a great call. Ho had to slow up because there was a man in front of him. Otherwise, if he had the open field, he was gone.
On the tackle was Steve Black, who caught him from behind. But what a play, and what a great effort to even get the handoff off.
Well, they took advantage of the defensive penetration. They knew they would come toward the ball, and when he broke a beautiful break tackle here. Now watch him here. He could have been sprinting out, but there's a man in front of him. He's got to slow down. 61's in front of him, and he had to slow down just enough. There's 10 in front of him also, and he had to slow down again and gets caught from behind. But otherwise, he was gone.
All the way down to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Dragons.
A 49-yard run. Great play.
Pro set, I formation, and tripping in the backfield. He was already down. It was number 42, and that is Major. Major has been carrying the ball pretty much for Lake Orion tonight. That time tripped his on his own feet. Let's take a look.
Keep in mind in high school football, when your knee hits the ground, it's a dead play. He's got possession of the ball. There's his knee. He's down right there.
I think he caught the quarterback's foot.
Very well could have happened. Could have happened.
He caught Robertson's foot, and that's why he was tripped up. So a big loss of about 6 yards. 2nd and 16. 3 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. I formation. Robertson throws out and complete out to Kraus, Jay Kraus, but Kraus isn't going anywhere. In fact, they lost another yard.
He needs to break that initial tackle. If he does that, then he's got some room to run. That's basically a receiver naked screen. And all they tried to do there is just try to have him break that initial tackle and run up the field. That time he wasn't able to do it and got no gain.
You see head coach Rich Burrell, his team is going in the wrong direction right now. It's 3rd and 17 on the other side. You see Kurt Richardson, and his team has just come back to tie it at 7-7. And let's see what the Dragons can do in a big 3rd down play here. Robertson to pass. He's getting pressured, and he's down. Good coverage in there by number 77, E.J. Stump. Stump, the nose guard, right up the middle. And another big loss for the Dragons, and they are knocked way back here. 4th and a punting down.
Stump has been in the backfield all day, showing very good quickness. He's 5'9", 175 pounds, and is able to blow through that offensive line and put great pressure on the quarterback. He's been in there all day, and he takes a deep drop about 8 yards, and his receivers are not initially open. If he doesn't scramble out of that pocket, that puts him in deep trouble and negates that big 49-yard run by Ho.
So again now, punting time. Bressett will punt into the wind. A low line drive, a good punt. Taken at about the 15. And he'll cut it to the outside. He's got room to run. That is Shires, Nick Shires, out to about the 50-yard line. Nick Shires, who started at quarterback and now returns it out to the 50-yard line, and Clarkston on the move now.
Well, you looked at the punt. You called it yourself. You said it's a low punt. And because it's a low line drive punt, he outkicks his coverage. The coverage isn't able to get down there, and he's able to get out of containment. You've got people running down in lanes here. And what he does, he gets outside the containment, gets outside the coverage, and is able to run the ball up, showing a lot of speed. Excellent run. Look at him run right around the corner. He's able to run through the containment, stays in bounds, makes a nice little cut there, and gets all the way down to the 50-yard line. Great field position here for the Wolves.
And that's Nick Shires, who was quarterbacking in the first half, but this time it's Dankert.
Intercepted.
Intercepted by Lake Orion, so the Dragons come right back.
What a turn of events here, I'll tell you. But that ball was underthrown. That's why it was intercepted. Excellent coverage out there.
Took away the inside, and a great coverage. And let's take a look, Bob.
That ball was just underthrown. Take a look here. He's excellent. He's covered, but he is open if he throws the ball in front of him. but great interception. Now let's see if Robertson, if he does pass the ball, if he can move out of that pocket and get some time, because he has been pressured all night.
Jay Krause comes up with the big interception. Number 2 for Lake Orion. Their first interception of the evening.
That's the first turnover,
and the first turnover of the night. I formation in the backfield. 2 receivers split. Handoff right up the middle, not going anywhere. Is Brown, Tim Brown on the handoff. And the defense of Clarkston stacks it up.
That play wasn't going anywhere. 16 seconds left. That'll probably be the last play here in the third quarter. But they need to get that offense going. They got 2nd and 11. If they are going to pass, they've got to roll him out to give him some time, because he's had pressure on him all day, particularly by number 77, E.J. Stump.
Very fast-paced game, even though they have been throwing. Not too many stops of the clock, and also in terms of penalties. We've seen very few penalties, so a very well-played game.
Well, we've seen 2 penalties and 1 turnover, so it's been a really well-played game, as you mentioned. And I'll tell you what, this game is going by rather fast, but it is tied 7-7. You can always see that overtime period, and that could last forever. You never know.
And it's not what our camera people want to hear down on being outside in that cold wind. As we get ready to start the fourth quarter, we remind you to tune in to Front Page Football. If you enjoy football, especially at the pro level, we'll talk about the Lions with Mike O'Hara and Kurt Sylvester of the Detroit News and the Detroit Free Press, respectively. Saturday at 6:30 right here on United Arty 63.
Oh, yeah!
And a few cheerleaders happy to be on television.
I think they're moving around just to stay warm.
I think so. Good excuse. 7-7, Robertson back to pass on a second down and 11. And wide open and complete. Out there to number 22, Todd Ho. And Ho picks up the first down. So both teams showing a little bit of excitement here. They can really strike quickly.
Well, he rolled out of the pocket just enough to give him enough time. Take a look right here. See, he's rolling out to the right a little bit. That gives him just enough time, and good blocking that time by his offensive line. But the key to the play was Ho was able to find a seam in that zone and was wide open by at least 5 yards.
So the first play of the fourth quarter is a big one for the Dragons as they get out to about midfield. Ball at about the 47-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Dragons. Robertson calling the signals. He's got 2 receivers split, handing off to the tailback, and not going far as number 42, Major, Jeremy Major, gaining maybe a yard. We'll see.
That's about all it gets. The offensive line didn't sustain their blocks, and it was good penetration here. Watch the ankle tackle. And here's the key. Once you get a hold of the ankles, you're not going anywhere. Good tackle in there by Black, number 40. He's wrapped up real well for a short gain of about a yard. 2nd and 9 here. They're passing down, so they need to get some yardage.
I formation in the backfield for Robertson. Ball at about the 48-yard line. Robertson complete outside, short of the first down, but complete out there to number 21, Matt Wandry.
Here's Robertson, a quick drop. Quick drop here is taking advantage. He needs to get those out quickly. I mentioned it was a passing down. He got enough yardage now to set up 3rd and about 2 or 3. This allows them to have different plays. Now the defense is going to be back on their heels. They're going to have to look for the screen, for the draw, for the short slant in. There's a lot of different things compared to 2nd and 7 or 2nd and 8 or 3rd and 8 where they could be in trouble. And they can send the linebackers on a blitz. Now they've got to stay back and look for it.
Big play right here for the Dragons. They are in Clarkston territory. 3rd and a long 3. Makes the handoff and goes complete to the tight end. He's got room to run. It's a foot race now to the end zone and tripped up inside the 10-yard line.
Just got his heel.
Tripped up by Nick Shires.
Shires saved the tackle. I'll tell you what, it was a great play. They sent both linebackers. Both linebackers got caught up in the line there, and that's what made him wide open right there. Defensive back slipped. He broke open in the open, and Mark DeVries, look at his ankle tackle right here, right at the last second, caught both legs with his arm swipe. Oh, man, what a tackle.
That's all he could do at that point, and he saved a touchdown. Now, here come the Dragons. Ball inside the 10-yard line at about the 7 or 6-yard line. Let's see what they do. I formation in the backfield. Robertson on the handoff, and inside the 5-yard line goes number 42, Jeremy Major.
What they're doing is their offense is setting up the line, right? The passing attack is setting up the run. That's a big difference here in the second half compared to the first half. Robertson was limping. He's still limping a little bit, but he came out here and after the second quarter and was limping a little bit. But Major made a nice run, got down to about the 2, setting up 2nd and goal.
Here we go, 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line. 9 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. I formation in the backfield. 2 receivers down to the bottom of the screen. Robertson back to pass. They go the other way. Touchdown. It's the same play they ran for the touchdown in the 2nd quarter.
Actually, he got a little deeper out there. He didn't really swing out to the sideline as much. Got a little deeper in the backfield, but it was an excellent touch pass by Robertson, and it was good for the touchdown.
This time it's Tim Armbruster, and Armbruster gets the touchdown.
Watch him here, 36 and go a little deeper. He had to cut out, and Robertson made a great touch pass, wide open, had to come back for it just slightly, but good enough for the touchdown.
A 3-yard pass to Armbruster. The extra point is up. It is good.
Robertson had time, and that's the key to that whole series, is he had time to throw the ball. The offensive line picked up a blitz on that big play, so it made a big difference. Mark DeVries with the big play, getting down to 1st and goal, then them coming through with a great run to Major, and then the touchdown to Armbruster.
So Armbruster with a 3-yard pass, and then Brown with the 3-yard pass in the first half. Very similar plays. And now Lake Orion takes the lead, 14-7. First-year head coach Rich Burrell very happy right now, but a lot of time left, 8:50 left in the game.
Casey Smith is a kicker for the Lake Orion Dragons. His nickname, as you heard the coach there, Rick Burrell say, his nickname is Contract. I don't know if he's got connections or not, but we'll find out.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get contract with the leg that he has.
There it is, in the end zone.
Into the end zone, and you can see, I don't know how much the wind helped on that. It's a strong wind, but that was a low kick, and he still got it into the end zone.
Robertson on that drive was 4 of 4 in passing, 67 yards, but the key to it was he mixed it up and threw to 4 different receivers. And that's the key to the offense, is mixing enough to keep the defense on their heels. And he had time to pass. I want to stress that because he's been pressured all day.
Dragons lead. There you see Smith.
There's Contract.
Casey Smith, a big kick into the end zone, and that forces Clarkston to start at their own 20. Flags fly.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. You got to have 7 guys. You only had 6.
Let's go down to the field and hear the call.
We have a dead ball foul. Illegal procedure on the white.
So that's what it was. Not enough men on the offensive line, and that's an illegal procedure call. 8:50 left in the game, 14-7. The Lake Orion Dragons lead here at home. They want revenge after a loss of 20-0 here. It was at Clarkston last year. 2 men up top. Dankert, the quarterback, getting pressured from behind. He can't see it, but it loads downfield to Fife. And Fife meets another number 10 down there for Lake Orion, Ben Myers, who gave him a good lick.
They're rolling him out to give him extra time, but when you roll out to your left, that's a real tough pass to make. He's got some people trailing, but he's got time to throw the ball. But this is a tough pass to throw, running to your left like that, and he overthrows him. Nice catch on the sideline there by the coach.
On the sideline, the quarterback, Robertson. Mason Robertson doing a fine job getting his team back on top.
Hey, are Sideburns coming back, Mason? I don't know.
I think they are.
There we go. Little Elvis impression there.
2nd and 15. 2 receivers up top. Dankert goes the other way to his tight end. Complete for a first down.
Nice fake right there. Dankert made a beautiful turn. He faked the handoff, hit the tight end on a slant pattern, coming right up the middle. It can be dangerous if the linebackers get their hand up, but here's the fake. Freezes the linebacker, gets him on his slant, and that big tight end was able to take the ball down for about a 13-yard gain and a first down.
6'1", junior, Rusty Mitchum. 1st and 10, ball. And a complete. The ball was on the 34-yard line. And a good pickup on the quick slant in for the first down play. And it'll be 2nd down at about 4 yards.
Fife has been open on that play all day, just that little slanting pattern, and that comes from being playing man-to-man on him.
First-year head coach, Rich Burrell here at Lake Orion, looks on.
Cheek Krause has got to come up a little bit, not give him as much room, because I'll take that pass at 5-yard gain every time. Now he's coming up a little bit. He's playing him about a 2-yard push.
Kevin Dankert, the quarterback, here in the second half. We saw Nick Shires in the first half. Handoff. And still on his feet, finally getting the whistle blown. And a good hard run by number 33. And that was Ryan, Eric Ryan, the fullback, running strong. And that'll be 3rd and about a yard and a half.
Here's the play right here, and this is leg drive, more leg drive. Stands him up, keeps running, gets some help, won't fall down, gets an extra 2 yards.
Yeah, the whistle never blew, and he just kept going.
Here's the key 3rd down, 3rd and 1. If they don't get it, they'll probably go for it. They're right at that position where they probably won't punt. So, big 3rd down play here.
Ball on about the 43-yard line of Clarkston. The pitch back to Tapero. Tapero picks up the first down and more into Lake Orion territory as he dives over the 50.
Showed some real good speed getting outside there. And the offensive line sustained their blocks long enough for him to get outside. Look right here. You're going to see the pulling guard, number 66. He's pulling out, and the fullback is out in front of him too. It allows him basically to get outside and turn it up for that big gainer of about 9 yards in the first down.
Ball at about the 47-yard line, 1st and 10 for Clarkston, and the Wolves are on the move. They want to tie this up and maybe take the lead if they go for 2. Dankert back to pass, quick pass and a slant in. Oh, a dangerous one as it turns out, almost intercepted.
They kind of tripped at the last second, but he was open, and that catch should have been made. Takes a 2-3-step drop right here. The same play they've been trying all day on first down because it's been open. Looks like the ball might have been just barely tipped at the last second, but he was open.
Intended for Jeremy Fife, but he was covered very closely by Krause. As we see famous Atlanta Braves chap doing it here.
Are the Dragons, is that an Indian tribe somewhere that I'm not aware of?
The Dragons?
Yes. I think it's an Ammonite.
Really 2nd and 10. Dankert going deep. He's got him. Fife is wide open for the touchdown. Jeremy Fife.
They set that one up perfect. A little slant pass. There was a fake slant. He kind of faked them out, made the turn, went deep, caught him on it like a give and go type play.
47 yards. And the Wolves strike like lightning here.
There's the fake. See, there he takes the fake, turns inside, then he goes deep. And there's the pass, right on target for the touchdown. They set that play up all day, throwing 5 or 6 slant passes to Fife, and then all of a sudden he turns it up for the touchdown. Here's the extra point. It's up.
Extra point is up, and it's good. And it's all tied up, 14-14.
Yeah, 14-14.
Man, did they set that one up nice, Dave, I'll tell you. All day, that 5 yards has been open. They've been taking it and taking it, taking it. Then they fake it and go deep for the touchdown. That's good coaching right there.
And what a game this is turning out to be. Well, I don't feel bad that I missed a good game last week now after seeing this one.
Now, why didn't they go for the 2 here, you know?
Well, they're going to want to put the pressure on.
6 minutes left, there's a lot of time.
They want the pressure put on the next team to score.
A lot of things can happen yet here. It's only been 1 turnover, so it's been a well-played game. Only 2 penalties. This is the type of game you like to see out of a high school game. Of course, after 5 games into the season, they should have this type of game.
Here it is, 7 plays, 2:34 off the clock for a total of 80 yards on that drive for Clarkston. And the big play, of course, the 47-yard touchdown pass. Dankert to Fife. Flags fly as the kick by number 25, Phipps, goes off. The whistle blows, and we're going to have to redo this one.
I guess I shouldn't have opened my mouth about the penalties. All of a sudden, as soon as I say something, they hit it.
Happened to me.
A dead ball foul on the white, offside, re-kick from the 35.
Offsides on the kickoff. You don't see that call very often, but very often players do run over that line before the kicker
does
kicks
happen.
it.
It really does. More often than not. And I think sometimes the refs just overlook it, depending on how close it is.
So Phipps sets the ball up again. This time at the 35. And the deep man is number 22, and that is Ho for Clarkston. But they kick it short, and it turns out to be an onside kick.
They're jumping up and down.
Clarkston has it.
Yeah.
This could be the biggest play of the game right there.
Oh, my. Oh, my. That is...
So the penalty didn't hurt him. It helped him. Clarkston comes up with the ball at the 40-yard line.
Let's see if this is a planned kick. Looks like he slipped just a little bit at the end there. That was not a planned kick because he kind of fell off it. Yep. But the receiving team here doesn't know what to do with it. 42 says, well, maybe it's going out of bounds. It doesn't go out fast enough, and was able to be received by 49, was it, for Clarkston?
Yeah, Major made the mistake of not going and attacking the ball. Taparo breaks it loose for a first down inside the 25-yard line, but flags fly.
A lot of flags that time. We'll see what happens. Man, what a big play, I'll tell you. That is a mistake that you can't have.
And really unexpected, too, for Lake Orion. They just hung back and thought they were going to kick
so
it.
So there was a clip
kind of slipped
on number 71, White. It'll be their ball right here, 1st and 10. And we're going to assess the 15-yard penalty from this spot. Make it their ball, 1st and about 12. Okay?
They didn't call the clip till right at the end of the play after he gained 15 yards. That's why they're bringing it back to 1st and 12. So.
Oh, we have a clip on the White. First down.
That's why that penalty was called from the time of the play. Let's see if we can see it here. And he's got a nice gain. That clip shouldn't have happened. You see, I don't really see anything at this point. And I don't think we're going to. We'll see it right at the end of the play if that's when it happens. No, it's hard to tell. I really can't see it. The flag had already...
Thought I saw a player get hit from behind and fall, but could not tell. So Rich Burrell has his work cut out for him defensively right now as Clarkston has it in his territory. Ball at the 43. And another dive, and this time the defense holds strong.
Well, they got to start mixing it up again like they did in that last drive. Of course, Fife was the key receiver. He's now got 6 receptions for 83 yards, 5 of them for about 25. But all here in the second half, so he's been the main receiver. It's 2nd down and 11. They need to mix it up.
2nd down and really about 12, but who's counting? And we are counting the clock, though, as you can see. 5 minutes left in the game.
That's why I always say about.
About. I do the same thing. And I learned that from you. 2nd and 12. 2 receivers to the close side of the field. Bottom of the screen and overthrown, intended down there for Jeremy Fife.
Yeah, he slipped that time and basically got up and wasn't able to run out his pattern. He threw the ball away, which was a smart play by the quarterback, and it sets up now 3rd and 12.
3rd and 12, and now it's time to see if the Wolves can cash in on this mistake by the Dragons.
Now the Dragons know that Danker's going to drop back to pass. There's obviously a passing down. Are they going to blitz somebody, or are they going to look for the coverage in the backfield? Here's a key defensive call.
Score tied, 14-14, 3rd and 12 for the Wolves. Danker on a quick handoff, and it's not going anywhere. Gain of maybe about 2 or 3. The carry by number 33, Eric Ryan. And a punting down now for Clarkston.
That penalty hurt them. Yeah, they had a first down.
You could still try to go for a first, even though it's a 4th and 9. But you might want to try to bury the Dragons deep in their own end of the field here with 4:10 and counting down here in the fourth quarter. Because then the Dragons would have a long way to go. Punting it away is Phipps.
Oh, nice bounce.
And inside the 20-yard line at about the 19, that's where the Dragons will get it. First and 10 right there, 3:52 left in the game, all tied up 14-14.
It's the type of game we like to see, close. Both teams able to get a couple drives in each half. Not a lot of mistakes, real clean.
Don't forget to tune in to Transition with your host, Jeffrey Miller, Saturday at 10 p.m. right here on United Artists 63 as we take a look at African-American issues. Past shows have had Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers, and Coleman Young, so tune in to that. First and 10, and not much there. Both teams playing conservative now. They're running the ball. In there now, number 36, it looks like on the carry.
For our viewers, if we get to the point where we have to go to overtime, keep in mind that there's going to be a coin flip. You'll have your choice of whether to go first or second. And it's not sudden death, so whoever scores first doesn't matter. The other team always gets their chance. So if you get a touchdown or an extra point or a touchdown too, the other team has the chance to match it at least, or even better yet. We'll keep doing it again until somebody wins.
I formation. Second down and 8. Robertson to pass, complete. And short of the first down is Wandry.
But he did get out of bounds to stop the clock now with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left. Keep in mind they do have all 3 of their timeouts left. So they've got a lot of time to go down there and put a score on the board. They've got a big kicker, Casey Smith, who we've seen has range of kicking at the 40 or 45 yards. It's a cute little hat by that guy. Doesn't really match his uniform, but there's old Bubba. He's getting a hat on TV. He finds some winners.
I think Bubba shot that because Bubba has a hat like that.
That's probably his hat. Probably
right.
It.
I think his heater in his car isn't working too well. 3rd and 2 for the Dragons. A big down for them right here. They blitz, and they call it to the right spot, and they stop them. The Wolves call the blitz and right to the hole that they're running to. Let's take a look. Major got it, but he had nowhere to go. The blitz came right there.
The handoff went deep in the backfield. He didn't get to the line of scrimmage in time to get by the blitz. The blitz definitely took care of it. The 2 linebackers made the stop. 23 was in on the tackle. It's Jeremy Doty. It sets up the punt here.
Now,
they're going for a 4th down.
No. They've been doing this in the last few punting situations. And Bressett will punt. Bressett with the wind at his back. End over end. Taken at about the 41 and called for the fair catch right there, Nick Shires. And here come the Clarkston Wolves now with 2:14 left. And
3 timeouts left.
They struck quickly last time. Let's see what happens.
Now remember, they're going to be kicking against the wind, so that has a definite disadvantage for them, but they might not need it if they strike like they did last time with a big touchdown play.
Now the Dragons stopped them. Remember the Wolves came up with an onside kick and they stopped them on that possession, so the Dragons coming off the heels of that big defensive stand. Let's see what they can do here.
Banker's been hot in the second half. He's 8 of 12 for 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So he's shown he's got a good arm. Let's see what he can do.
Kevin Dankert hands off on the first down play, and a big play, and a first down for Ryan. Eric Ryan carries into Dragon territory.
Eric Ryan showed some real good leg drive. He's a big boy, 5'9", 205, low to the ground. So he's showing he's really strong here and breaks a few tackles. Nothing fancy about this. Basically a drive play, a dive play right up the middle. He broke a few tackles and shown great speed getting through that hole.
Ball at the 47-yard line, 48-yard line of the Dragons. Straight dive again, nothing this time for Ryan. It'll be second down and long, and the clock winding down, 1:45 left in the game. And Clarkston has their timeouts and they're not using them. That could hurt them. They're running the ball.
Well, you've got a minute and 35 seconds, and they're taking a lot of time getting this play in. They're bringing the play in from the sideline. They've wasted a good 20 or 25 seconds on this play.
They better be careful. That time may run out on them. 2nd down and 9. Ball on the 46. Dankert, the quarterback, 2 receivers down to the bottom of the screen. They pitch out to Ryan. Ryan has some running room, and he's short of the 1st down by about a yard and a half. And now they will use their timeout.
That was a good call. They put a strong side formation down here to the right. Took the defenders out there with them. The quick pitch with the fullback leading, and a great block in there, able to spring him outside. He turns it up just inside enough. Wasn't able to get the 1st down, but sets up 3rd and short. 3rd and about 2 here.
3rd down and 2.
Oh, Bubba boy, I tell you what, he must be cold.
He wants his hat back. 14-14, 1:08 left in this contest in the Greater Oakland Conference, and what a matchup. This is the game that both of these teams look forward to every year. This is the big matchup that we have at the end of the season with Troy Athens. This is very similar to that.
Hey, get in the backfield, fight them up. You guys,
take a look at the defensive coach down there for Lake Orion.
Saying, watch the short pass, watch the trap, watch this, watch that. You gotta watch a lot of things when you got 3rd and short, and they're in two down position here. So even if they don't get it, the key is making sure you go forward, not backward. If you get get a yard here and you're still short, you're gonna go for it on 4th.
Down there coaching Sal Agro, Jim Manzo, and Mike Bass, assistant coaches to Rich Burrell. And right now, they need to come up with a big defensive stand. As you can hear the sideline. Make the big play, and that's what they need right now. 1:08 left. Clarkston on the move. 3rd and 2. Handoff, Ryan, very close to a 1st down.
That stops the clock while they measure. If they didn't get it, if they did get it, it's going to stop the clock while they move the sticks. Looks like the officials are going to call timeout to measure this one. It's
just
really
under
close.
a minute left.
Here's a look at the play. They went forward, as I mentioned. They didn't lose yardage. You went straight ahead. Some good offensive line blocking there. Good surge blocking. Looks like he might have the 1st down based on what I just saw there. Let's see where the ball was placed.
Very close.
Here's the stretch.
And they got it.
Get it, yeah.
He got it by a full length.
Nice mark.
Now they won't move the clock. The clock will not start until they move the change. Then they'll wind it up. And here they come. They've got a play called. They didn't waste a lot of time. They saved the timeout.
Clock starts. Dankert, the quarterback, 2 receivers at the bottom of the screen. He goes to the air, right down the middle of the field, to the tight end, 1st down.
Dankert's pass complete to number 89.
Rusty Mitchum again, the tight end comes through.
48 seconds left, plenty of time here. Here's a great pass play, takes 3 steps back. Here's a fake, freezes the linebackers, 3 steps back. The slant play to the tight end over the middle, thrown just a little bit behind him, but made a nice catch, and he held on to the ball for a big play. They're in field goal position, and we've got a timeout on the field.
2nd timeout used now by Clarkston. They have 1 left with 48.7 seconds left in the game, and the Clarkston Wolves making, well, one of the big drives of the season for them right now.
They still need about 8 yards to get in very good field goal range. Right now they're at the 20, would make them a 37-yard field goal against a pretty strong wind. I'm not saying it's not makeable, but if they get about 8 yards and put it down about the 30-yard range, it's a more makeable field goal if they need to get that far.
Rich Burrell looks on now, just hoping his defense can come through with a big play right here. Clarkston on the move, 1st and 10, ball on the 20. And don't forget, next week, the Dondero Oaks travel to Rochester Adams to take on the Highlanders right here on the game of the week, Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m.
Got to watch turnovers here. They've got to be pretty conservative. They're in decent range here for field goal. Let's see what they do. They'll probably run the ball.
Dankert gets the handoff, goes to the air, looks downfield, and does he have it? Complete. Complete.
And he got out of bounds. That was a gutsy call because the defensive back almost either knocked the ball out or made an interception.
He did not get out of bounds.
He didn't?
The ref signaling still. Keep the clock rolling. 30 seconds and counting. Dankert to pass into the end zone and almost intercepted.
The receiver slipped. The defensive back had plenty of room for the interception, just dropped the ball.
Intended for Volmar. Volmar, a big receiver, 6'3", and a junior. 20 seconds left.
And the iron field goal range, they got that 5 or 6 yards that I mentioned. They need about 2 or 3 more. But I'll tell you what, passing in this situation, two bad things can happen. You can get an interception, obviously, or you can get an incomplete pass. That time, the interception almost happened. That was close.
Here we go. You talk about excitement. All tied up, 14 apiece. Clarkston, 3rd and 4 on the 14. Dankert to pass into the end zone, into traffic. And it's incomplete.
Through the double coverage, they're lucky that ball wasn't intercepted too. Good defense, I'll tell you.
Well, they set it up for the field goal.
The Dragons had excellent coverage on this play. Dankert faked it a little bit right there. Got him enough time to get the ball off. But look at the double coverage here. 2 men are right on him. If anything, that ball is going to be intercepted.
And now a timeout called by the Dragons. And of course, this is to ice the kicker. And on a cold night like tonight, that is what you call it, ice the kicker. 13.8 seconds left in the game.
And they're at the far left hash mark, Dave.
It's a tough angle.
Important factor, yeah.
Tough angle to kick at.
Plus, he's kicking directly into the wind because the wind is coming from the opposite angle.
Yeah.
The wind is coming from the northwest, which is directly in his face. He's kicking directly into that wind.
Brian Phipps, the kicker. Chris Combs, who is their real kicker when they started the season, is out. But Phipps has shown us a great leg.
He's shown a good leg. He's their second kicker. But the coaching staff, Kurt Richardson, said that, hey, he's just as good as the other guy. And he's real confident that he can do the job. There's the big test right here. The game is on the line. 13.8 seconds left.
If he makes it, it's over. If he doesn't, we go to overtime. 13.8 seconds left. But it all goes on this play right here. You can forget the clock on this play. The snap. The ball is down. It is up, and it is... It's good.
Yeah. What a kick.
Brian Phipps put it up and through. 14, the ball on the 14-yard line, a 24-yard field goal.
What a kick against the wind. Plenty of leg to spare.
Where was that? That was a 34-yard field goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, he got 5 yards, and he was on the 20, 25, 35. Yeah.
A 34-yard field goal, and is up and good. And the Clarkston Wolves make their trip out to Lake Orion worth it.
What a kick.
9.1 seconds left. Not much time for the Dragons.
They might have time for 1 or 2 plays, and that's about it. Of course, they're not going to give them much of an opportunity to return this one. They'll probably kick a line drive kick right up the middle, let one of those secondary men take the ball, so they don't get one of their skill people returning the ball. And the game will basically have 1 play left after the kick, and that's it. What a way to finish this game. This is the second time this year we've had a game in the last 10 or 15 seconds by a field goal.
Decided by a field goal. Here go the Dragons, and see a little disappointment on the sideline. But what a battle. Both these two teams have really gone back and forth tonight, and you got to hand it to both teams. They fought hard in a good, clean game. You saw very few penalties. You didn't see any frustration out on the field. It was good, clean football.
They're real evenly matched in regards to the weight size, the way that they're coached. Everything went well. Very few turnovers. We had the 1 interception, and that was it. It was a well-played, well-coached game. Came down to the end. That's the way you like to see them.
Phipps to kick off, and he had a little extra even on that kick that he put through the uprights to give his team the lead. Probably he'll kick a low line drive, and he does, trying to hit somebody. And he does, and the ball is loose. And what a way to end the game for Clarkston with a good hard hit. 4.8 seconds left. They got the ball back. All they have to do is snap it, and it's over.
That is putting an exclamation point on the win. That's what it is. And they just show right there why they won this game. They had a little extra effort, a little extra intensity, and that made the difference. Wow, what a pop. That's the ball game.
They'll start the clock, and that will do it. The Clarkston Wolves come into Lake Orion High School, and they come out with a victory, 17-14. And what a great game it was. Very good game. As you can see, the teams out in midfield as the teams went back and forth all night long, Bob. A good, hard-fought battle.
It's the way it's supposed to go at the end. The kick, of course, making the difference, but it was a well-fought game. Both teams played very clean, very few penalties, as we mentioned, very few turnovers, and it was a type of game you like to see from a couple of high school teams in the same division.
Now the Clarkston Wolves go to 4-2 overall and 3-0 in the Greater Oakland Conference. We'll be back to wrap it up with some final stats for you right after these messages. Stay with us.
This is Perspectives, made available by your local cable company.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, especially pictures of live testimony in high-profile criminal trials. Camera in the courtroom laws, along with satellite technology, have combined to open up a new phenomenon in television viewing. The William Kennedy Smith trial and others like it are being viewed by law school students, police, and millions of everyday Americans. This isn't Perry Mason or LA Law, but the real thing, with raw emotion, evidence, and a fair amount of drama. At a minimum, live courtroom coverage gives real meaning to cable's promise of alternative programming. At best, a generation of Americans will come to know much, much more about the legal system, their rights, and the consequences of wrongdoing. For Perspectives, I'm Leela Kokoris.
Opinions expressed on Perspectives are those of Telecommunications Incorporated and not necessarily those of this channel. Please send your comments to this address.
The final score here at Lake Orion High School, the Clarkston Wolves 17 and the Lake Orion Dragons 14. And what an exciting game this was, Bob. It pretty much turned out the way we expected. A very close game. 139 yards passing for Clarkston, 132 for Lake Orion. Lake Orion had the edge at halftime, but Clarkston came right back. Rushing yards, Clarkston had the edge at halftime. They continued to dominate there, 94-64. Total yards, 233 for Clarkston, 196 for Lake Orion, and things pretty much evened out in that second half. Turnovers, 1 for Clarkston, 2 for Lake Orion. First downs, 7-9, so that pretty much evened out, and then the time of possession, very close.
Well, that basically tells you the whole game. Everything is pretty much on par. The 2 turnovers, of course, one being on the last play of the game, really didn't affect him that much. But the key to this whole game was basically the field goal, obviously, on the last play.
Yeah. The leaders for Clarkston, Jeremy Fife, 6 receptions for 83 yards, and Mitchum caught 3 for 42, the tight end. Dankert came in, all that in the second half, 10 of 15 for 124 yards passing.
Fife again, he had the 49-yard touchdown pass that was set up by a bunch of short ones, so that was another difference.
Lake Orion's leaders on the other side, Hull 2 for 30 yards receiving, and DeVries 4 for 78 yards. Robertson 12 of 15, not a bad day for him, 132 yards passing. Both quarterbacks doing a great job, actually all 3 of them doing a good job here tonight.
He was sacked a few times, but came back real strong in the second half.
Next week, don't forget to tune in. We've got another exciting contest for you. This time, it's the Dondero Oaks, a team we saw earlier this year, taking on the Rochester Adams Highlanders, a team we have not seen. So a pretty good contest there. We hope it's just as exciting as this one was. The final score here at Lake Orion, the Clarkston Wolves 17 and the Lake Orion Dragons 14. For Bob Griglak and all of us here at United Artists Sports, I'm Dave Zorin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week from Rochester Adams.